Hey guys, Ravedge here. In this video, it's going to be mainly a macro breakdown of what I use in Arena and Battlegrounds. I'm going to roughly cover what keybinds I use just because people have been asking questions about that. But I have had a lot of questions asking what macros I use, so I figured I'm going to go ahead and toss this video out here. If you guys want to have a keybind breakdown on how to keybind or what keybinds I use, like a more in-depth keybind guide, go ahead and comment on this video and let me know that you want to see that, and I'll see if I can squeeze that out sometime in next week or whatnot. But this one's going to be mainly a macro breakdown with just a rough cover of what my keybinds are and the reasons why I use them. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright guys, real quick I'm going to go over my keybinds of what I use. I'm not really going to go in depth why, because quite frankly, keybinding is 100% your own preference. It's what you like, it's what works best for you. Some people like to use a lot of the mouse, some like to use a lot of the keyboard. I, on the other hand, am about 80% mouse, 20% keyboard. For my mouse I use a Logitech G600, which is pretty much a Razer Naga equivalent. It's got the 12 thumb buttons on the side, and I like having that because I'm able to put a lot of my keybinds right there in one area, and it's pretty easy for me to use. However, on the keyboard I do also use the QERFCX, the tilde key, which is the key right next to the 1, and the F1 key. I also do use Shift, Control, and Alt modifiers. Keybinding is 100% your own preference. If you are someone who does not know how to keybind and wants to know how, comment below saying you want to see an in-depth keybind guide, and I'll go ahead and toss it out there for you guys. I just roughly wanted to cover my keybinds so you all know what I'm using in my videos, and so it'll make a little bit more sense when I am talking about my current macros. First macro I'm going to be covering is my Paralysis macro. This macro is used for focus target and my current target as well, both all in one. I'm going to go ahead and show how I can go straight off the bat and then just paralysis my current target while having the focus target, and it will not necessarily hit my focus target until I'm using the shift modifier. Now, in the code for the macro you can see where it has the modifier shift. What that actually means then is if you just hit this macro, it will do whatever spell you have in the macro to your current target. However, if you hold shift, it will do it to your focus target instead of your current target, meaning you can do this to your focus target without breaking your current target. So while you're damaging someone, you can do CC without having to untarget them and target someone else. It's really nice and convenient, so if you get good at using this macro, it's a great tool to have in your utility. Now, as you guys can see right there, I just went ahead to the target dummy and hit the keybind for my paralysis, which is F, and it paralysis my current target. It did not do it to my focus target, even though I already had one. Like I said earlier, this is one macro that you have to actually use a modifier to hit to your focus target. Alright, and now I was showing with right there that this macro is usable for a focus target as well. As you saw there, I was targeting Skull the whole time, doing some damage, moved over a little bit to be in range of Star, and went ahead and held Shift modifier and then hit my keybind, which is F for paralysis, and it did it to my focus target, which is Star, without clearing my current target. If you get really good at using this macro or any shift modifier focus macros, it will definitely improve your arena gameplay that much more. Alright guys, the next macro I'm going to be covering is my interrupt one. This is for your spear hand strike. Now this is set up exactly like paralysis. You literally can go into the paralysis macro I showed you just before and copy and paste that whole line into a new macro and literally just change the word from paralysis to spear hand strike throughout the whole macro, and it'll work the exact same. Now, what this macro is doing, exactly the same as the other one. If you do not hold a shift modifier, it will do it to your current target. If you hold shift, it will do it to your focus target. Now I'm going to go ahead and show how it works in real time. Alright guys, as you saw right there, I went ahead and did the interrupt to my current target, which is Skull, and I'm facing the target, which I was just showing that you can do the blanket silence like that. So as you can see right there, you just use a normal keybind, and it will do it to your current target. As you can see right there guys, I just went ahead and showed how blanket silence does work as well for the focus, obviously. So what I did was move over while damaging Skull, held my shift modifier, hit the keybind for my interrupt, and it went ahead and put the blanket silence right on Star, and I continued hitting Skull no problem with barely any downtime just from shifting over 2-3 feet to be able to hit that target. Alright guys, in this next clip here, I'm going to be showing how to use my Disarm macro. It works the same way as my Interrupt and Paralysis do, meaning you can have the focus target and use it accordingly. This is really great to use in Arena when you have classes like a Warrior or a DK who's just training your healer and you have him set as a focus target. Now what the macro is actually going to look like is this right here. You can actually copy and paste whatever you put in your Paralysis macro in for the Disarm one and just switch the wording of the spell and it works the exact same. So now with this spell, what I can actually do is be running around Arena, see Skull here. If I'm up smacking Skull or anyone else here, I'm going to go ahead and kill this real quick. I still have him set as my focus target. Smacking Skull and then hit Shift X and it went ahead and disarmed my focus target. Remember, our disarm is 40 yards, so you can use this to your advantage really well. Now, being able to pay attention when people pop cooldowns or you communicate with your partners is a key part for this to be a really effective macro. If your healer says Warrior's avatared and Wreck Stormed, like popping all his major cooldowns, it's a good idea to go ahead and disarm him or start peeling or playing defensive on that. And that having a 40-yard range is a really great spell to use. So get good at using it as a normal disarm and a focused disarm, and you'll definitely notice a difference in Arena. Alright, real quick guys, I'm going to go ahead and cover my Rising Sun Kick macro. I'm an engineer on my monk and I use the 1920 agility, I guess you could say on use attachment to my gloves. I go ahead and show in this macro that I just literally have slash cast and shift click my gloves in there and then slash cast Rising Sun Kick. I use this on cooldown because I still have an on use trinket for bigger cooldowns and it's nice just to have a constant uptime of a little bit extra damage. Next macro I'm going to be showing you guys is my Tiger Eye Brew macro. I use this macro for burst situations or when I finally have my 10 stacks in PvE. And it's quite simple. All it is literally slash cast whatever your trinket is. You can shift click it right into the macro screen. I have two listed here, one for PvE and one for PvP. All this does is whatever trinket is equipped, it will use that on use trinket and consume your Tiger Eye Brew stacks. It's best to use this when you have the full 10 stacks for the full 20% damage increase. Another little simple macro that I use for bigger cooldowns, I guess you could say, is my Zoom the White Tiger macro. This macro is also using an on-use trinket and a spell. What this does is pops my on-use trinket and then Zoom the White Tiger. The reason I have the on-use trinket macro to both of these is because I'm not necessarily using one spell or the other. Either way, when I use Zoom the White Tiger, I want to have my trinket on because it greatly improves his damage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show just how the macro is lined up and how it works in this little clip. And the next clip after, I'm going to show how much he's affected by cooldown stacking. Alright guys, in this next clip here I'm going to be covering the emphasis on cooldown stacking when using Zune. As you can see from my buffs right here, I already have the 10 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew. Now once I start hitting the target dummy, I'm going to go ahead and pop my trinkets, consume the Tiger Eye Brew, and then pop Zune the White Tiger. At this point his damage readout is around 133,000. Now as I'm going ahead and continue fighting, my buffs are going to start falling off from the durations. Now, once I start losing these buffs, his damage is going to go down as well. This just goes to show you that when popping all your cooldowns and then using Zune, you're going to get the most damage out of him possible. Alright guys, this last little bit here, I'm going to cover my last 6 macros I use in Arena. These are Arena specific macros, meaning they're not going to work in BGs or duels or anything like that. These are just meant for Arena. I'm going to go ahead and explain what I mean by that. I use Arena target interrupts for my interrupt and paralysis. Now what these actually are is, this is the first one I'm going to show you. It's interrupt for target equals arena 1. Now literally the line is /cast target equals arena 1 spear hand strike. Now what this does is when I hit this macro, I don't have to target the person at all. It doesn't even have to be my focus. It will just go ahead and spear hand strike arena 1. Now if you don't know what arena 1, 2, or 3 are, those are the arena frames that pop up here in Arena as soon as you enter it. It'll be 1, 2, and 3, like roughly around that area. If you move around on your UI, it'll be in wherever spot you put them. But those are the order, 1, 2, 3, or 4 and 5 if you do 5s as well. Literally the same exact macro for all 3 interrupts, except for all I'm changing is from Arena 1 to 2 for Arena 2 and 3 for 3. It's really simple. These are great macros to use. As you can see for paralysis, it's the same right here. All I do is put paralysis in place of spear hand strike, and then arena 1, 2, and 3. And then I have each one is its own keybind. One of the best perks about this is invisibility, or things that disappear. Druids that use Displacer Beast and break your focus target, or Shadow Priests, or any priest that use Spectral Guise, I believe it's called, and rogues who vanish, anything that would clear your focus, these completely stop it. It does not matter, because when they do all these vanish or get away moves, they do not disappear off of your arena frames. They are still there, so you can spam it knowing that you're going to get them as soon as they're out or able to be seen again. One of the biggest things I like doing is, if I'm spec for improved range on paralysis, meaning the deadly reach talent, if I see the mage is arena frame 2, I'm going to be spamming paralysis on arena frame 2, because as soon as he comes out to do his opener for that big opening burst frost mages can do, I will paralysis him if he's in range, completely stopping his damage. This is a great spell to really pay attention with and use it to your advantage like that. These macros altogether, if you can learn how to use them well in Arena, they are definitely a deadly tool to add to your arsenal. So if you've got the keybinds, are you willing to try them? Trust me, give them a shot. You'll see once you start using them in Arena how much of a benefit they bring to your team. Alright guys, this is going to conclude the Intro to Windwalker Monk PvP guide covering my macros and a slight little keybind coverage. This video is mainly meant for macros. If you're looking for an in-depth keybind guide, just let me know and I'll see if I can throw something together for you guys. But for my next few videos, I think I'm going to be doing BGs and arenas. Now, the only thing I'm a little bit hesitant about is I'm not sure what style I want to throw out there. Commentary or more of a gameplay like my first video with just some music in the background and just cutting a few clips together. So if you guys could, comment and let me know what you'd like to see on that part. And I'll see if I can throw in a collaboration of the two or lean heavier to one side to the other. Just let me know what you guys would be interested in seeing. As always, if you guys enjoy what I've been throwing out there, please give me a like, favorite, and subscribe. It really lets me know how I've been doing, and it's that much more inspiration for me to just keep throwing these out here. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I do not think I'm going to stop anytime soon. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. This is Ravedge here, and I hope to see you in the BGs.